We said goodbye to the lantern-lit alleys of Furongzhen town, but our journey was far from over. Next stop,
Zhangjiajie.
From Furongzhen, we hopped on a train heading straight into one of China's most legendary landscapes, home to the towering sandstone pillars that inspired the floating mountains of Avatar. The train ride wasn't long, but it gave us just enough time to relax, recharge, and mentally prepare for what was about to be one of the most jaw-dropping legs of this entire trip.
And this is where we called home for the next 4 nights, Eryatou Inn, which is tucked right by the east gate of
Zhangjiajie
National Forest Park. The moment we walked in, we knew we'd lucked out. Online, this place is sitting at an excellent rating from well over 1,000 guests, and after seeing this place, we completely understand why. From the moment we arrived, the owner helped us sort out tickets for the park, gave us route suggestions that saved us so much time and money. She basically became our unofficial local guide for the whole stay. That kind of hospitality is hard to find, and it's honestly what turned a good stay into one of the best hotel experiences of this entire trip.
Welcome to our home for the next 4 nights. 2 full rooms, one with a king bed and another with 2 super single beds, plus an actual kitchen and a dining table. This wasn't just a hotel room, it genuinely felt like our own little apartment in the mountains. And honestly, with 4 nights ahead of us, that extra space made all the difference, room to unpack properly, cook a little if we wanted to, and just relax without living out of suitcases. The room even came with its own washing machine, which turned out to be a lifesaver. We finally got the chance to wash our clothes properly and hang them out to dry, something you don't realize you miss until days into a trip like this.
And location-wise, this place is about as good as it gets. Eryatou Inn actually sits right inside the National Forest Park itself, just a 5-minute walk from the East Gate. That means no long shuttle rides, no fighting traffic to get to the park entrance every morning. We could literally step out of our room and be at the gate before our coffee even got cold. The street outside was lined with little restaurants and shops, so food, snacks, anything we needed was right at our doorstep. Being based inside the park like this genuinely changed the pace of our whole stay. Everything felt closer, easier, and a lot less stressful. We booked a DD car straight from the inn, and within a short ride, we reached our first stop on our
Zhangjiajie
agenda, and honestly, one we've been counting down to for weeks, the
Zhangjiajie
Grand Canyon. Tickets were already sorted in advance, so no queuing around for us, just straight in, student cards in hand for the discounted price, which honestly made the whole morning so much smoother.
This isn't just a canyon. It's a massive scenic area cut deep into the Wuling mountain range, and it's considered one of the top attractions in all of
Zhangjiajie.
right up there with the National Forest Park itself. Okay, this is the moment. The
Zhangjiajie
Grand Canyon Glass Bridge, locally nicknamed the ferry across the clouds. It is the single most famous structure in this entire scenic area, and once you're standing on it, you understand exactly why. This bridge stretches for hundreds of meters across the canyon, suspended hundreds of meters above the valley floor, with a fully transparent glass deck running right down the middle. That means every step you take, you're looking straight down through solid glass at treetops, rivers, and rock faces that look impossibly far below. The middle section is where everyone lines up for photos, lying down flat on the glass, camera pointed straight down, capturing that stomach-dropping view of the canyon beneath you.
The Grand Canyon scenic area typically runs a few different ticket tiers, a canyon-only option for those who just want to hike the gorge without crossing the bridge, and a combined canyon plus glass bridge ticket, which is what most visitors go for since the bridge really is the highlight. There's also a premium combo for those who want to add on extra adventure activities down in the canyon. Opening hours generally run from early morning until mid-afternoon, though they do shift slightly between peak season and off-peak season, so it's worth double-checking the exact times before you go. A few tips that genuinely helped us: book your tickets online in advance rather than queuing on site, especially if you're visiting during a busy period, since the bridge has a daily visitor cap and can sell out.
Wear proper walking shoes as between the bridge, the gorge trail, and the walkway, you'll be on your feet for a couple of hours at least. All in, we spent a solid few hours exploring everything this place had to offer, and honestly, it was worth every minute. Standing there on that glass deck, it's easy to forget just how much went into making this moment possible. The idea for this bridge actually started nearly a decade before we ever set foot on it. Construction only broke ground in 2014, carried out by a young team of engineers whose average age was reportedly still in their 20s, tackling one of the most technically ambitious pedestrian bridges ever attempted. It officially opened to the public on August 20, 2016, and the moment it did, it instantly became the longest and highest glass-bottomed bridge on Earth, breaking multiple world records in bridge engineering along the way. The bridge was designed by Israeli architect Chaim Dotan, and his vision for it wasn't just about function, it was almost poetic.
No dropping objects
He
on the
wanted
glass
the bridge to
skywalk.
feel invisible, like a thin white line dissolving into the clouds and mist of the canyon, so that instead of the structure dominating the landscape, it would quietly disappear into it. That's actually where the bridge's Chinese nickname comes from too, sometimes translated as a bridge that lets you cross the world itself, hinting at this idea of stepping between heaven and earth. We found something that we just need to do. Tucked into the canyon adventure route is a high-altitude zip line, and the second we found out about it, we knew there was no way we were leaving
Zhangjiajie
without trying it. This thing stretches roughly 358 meters across the canyon, with a vertical drop of around 302 meters beneath you. So we're talking about being flung across a gorge nearly the height of a 100-story building, at speeds that can reach about 100 kilometers per hour.
After the zipline, you'd think that would be the peak of the adventure, but the canyon still had more in store for us. Walking down toward the gorge, we spotted the slide to ease our way down. We decided we had to pay for a go. This isn't your average playground slide either. It stretches hundreds of meters down through a narrow gorge, saving your legs, all the walk through all those punishing steps downhill. By this point, we decided to break for tea. And funnily enough, right there we spotted what looked like a McDonald's copycat. We couldn't resist giving it a try, and surprisingly, it tasted pretty close to the real thing, a familiar flavors, that same fast food comfort, just under a different name.
After refueling, we carried on and eventually reached the water, and this is where the canyon adventure takes its final, unexpected turn. This isn't a wild river, but a lake, Xinquan Lake, actually a small reservoir that locals built decades ago to generate electricity, now sitting quietly at the very end of the canyon, surrounded by thick green hills and misty air. And here's the twist, this is a one-way journey. The whole Grand Canyon route is designed so you never backtrack. You enter from one side, wind your way down through the glass bridge, the gorge, the slide, and by the time you reach this lake, you're nowhere near where you started. Even after the boat, the adventure wasn't quite done yet. Stepping onto the trail, we could tell this next stretch was going to be its own little hike. The path hugs the water's edge, part of the canyon's longer floor trail that runs roughly 3 kilometers end to end, just enough to stretch the legs one more time after all that adrenaline and boating.
Tall trees leaned in from both sides, their roots twisting right along the edge of the path, but it wasn't all easy walking as parts of the trail ran damp and slick, moss and leftover moisture from the water making certain stretches genuinely slippery underfoot, so we had to slow right down and watch our footing carefully, especially where the path narrowed close to the bank. And finally we reached the dark cave, sometimes also called Touch Cave, tucked right at the end of that trail. Stepping inside, the temperature dropped instantly, the sunlight faded to almost nothing and the neon light brightened the cave, a proper contrast to the bright, open canyon we'd been walking through all day.
And just like that, after the dark cave, one last surprise awaited us, a final boat ride, the true closing chapter of our
Zhangjiajie
Grand Canyon adventure. Unlike everything before it, this one wasn't about adrenaline. It was slow and gentle ride, the kind where you finally let your shoulders drop and just breathe. Drifting quietly across the water, watching the canyon walls glide past one last time, it felt like the whole day was replaying in our heads, the glass bridge, the zip line, the slide, that cave, and all of it winding down into this one calm, peaceful moment on the water. By the time we got back to the hotel, we were absolutely starving. Lucky for us, we didn't even need to go far, just 2 shops down from Eryatou Inn. We found a little local spot and decided, this is it, time for a proper meal.
This 7 Clay Pots restaurant serves food in the Hunan/Dongting region cooking style, where dishes are cooked and served in individual small clay pots or bowls rather than on shared plates, often hearty, home-style, slow-simmered dishes such as stewed meats, tofu, or fish in a savory broth. So, looking back at everything, if we had to sum up this day in one sentence, it would be this, an absolute roller coaster of adventure and surprise, in the best way possible. We came in expecting a canyon and a bridge. We left with so much more, a heart-pounding thrills, quiet peaceful moments, funny little discoveries, and honestly, more memories packed into a single day than we imagined possible.
Zhangjiajie
Grand Canyon isn't just a photo stop attraction, it's a full-blown experience, and if it's not already on your travel bucket list, it absolutely should be. If you enjoyed coming along on this crazy, thrilling, unforgettable day with us, do us a huge favor, smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's coming next, because trust us, this trip is far from over.